Hey, this is Ronette with Freedom and Passive Income, and if this is your first time watching, the purpose of my videos is to empower you with tips, strategies, and information to help you transition from paycheck to paycheck to freedom and passive income. And if you're watching this on YouTube, if you could hit the notification bell, like, and subscribe, and then that way you'll get the latest information whenever I upload a video. If you're watching this on Facebook, I appreciate you joining me. And whether you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube, I want to invite you to download my free book, and it's called Make, Manage, and Master Your Money. So as you can see, tonight we are going to talk about cash flow, and I did a video about this last week, I think, and I kind of went over all the different ways that you could make an income, but I wanted to delve a little bit deeper into this because your cash flow is going to be the most important thing. It's like fuel for your assets, for your acquiring assets, so that you can access income producing assets. And so your cash flow is critical. Excuse me. Let me pause this real quick. So sorry about that. Goodness gracious, I don't know why whenever I get going, I had this tickle in my throat and have to go get some water. So anyway, I wanted to delve into this a little bit deeper because this is so absolutely important, and this is the one thing that gives most people, including myself, in the beginning a disadvantage because we don't have this information. And this is something that was created by Robert Kiyosaki. He is a guy that wrote the book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and it became very popular during the 90s. And basically what he said was that he had a friend, his best friend growing up, had a father who was an entrepreneur, and his friend's father, I don't think he went to college, or I'm not even sure if he finished high school, but he was not a very well necessarily an educated man in the sense of what we would consider educated. And Robert Kiyosaki's father actually was a professor at a university, I think in Hawaii, and he had a doctorate, he had a PhD. But what he said was that growing up, he called his biological father his poor dad, and he called his friend's father his rich dad. And he talks about how they approach their income and how they approach their cash flow differently. And so his biological father went the normal track of what we were all told, and that's to get a good education, get a good job, get a good benefit package, and a retirement. And I want to make it known that that is not a bad thing. I kind of disagree with Robert Kiyosaki in the sense that he tends to just totally dismiss that track, and that it's not, there's really not anything good in it. And I don't know, I mean, man is making a lot more money than I am, but I don't necessarily feel that that's that you shouldn't do that you shouldn't get a good higher education. I think you can do both. I think that you can get a good education while you are learning how to create a passive income for yourself, while you're learning how to work and build on the right side of the quadrant. Because as you can see on the left side of the quadrant, the employee and the self-employed person, they exchange their time for money, and they don't have any leverage. And there's no, what did he say? He said the amount of active work determines your wealth. And so everything on the left side, as an employee and a self-employed person, you are creating active income. That means you have to physically do something and exchange your time for money, and that puts you in a position where you don't have any leverage. And as you can see here, 5% of the wealth is held by the person that has a job, an employee, and 95% of the population, because of that, they don't have any leverage. They can't really they can't scale that if they're only exchanging their time for money and they're not doing anything else. And so I just wanted to explain that this is absolutely critical. If you can get your mind around this, this will change your whole thought process. This will change your whole approach to how you spend your time, how you spend your money, how you work with people. And it's just very powerful. And I know for me, it totally changed my mindset, because think about it, we're told to get a good education in the positions, the careers that everybody feels are the best careers to have, and the people that are doing really well are the higher professionals, like your attorneys, your doctors, your insurance agents. They're employed, they're business owners too. But like an insurance agent, they would be like an attorney. A lot of doctors, if they have their own practice, and insurance agents, they would be in the self-employed category. They're still exchanging their time for money. That limits you. It limits you. There are two things that happen with that. It limits you in terms of you being able to scale your income and grow it, and then that's time that you can't get back. So you've lost that time, and that's what puts us on the rat race. So the cash flow on the left side, I don't think that there's anything wrong with having this type of cash flow, because I would consider this your fast money, because you can immediately get your income. You can immediately generate cash flow to do other things. The income on the right side is going to be more of you're going to have to sow a lot of seed before you start seeing the fruits of that. And I'm going to do a separate video on the right side of the quadrant. But I just wanted to delve a little bit deeper into this, because this is a wonderful example of the difference between active income versus passive income, linear income versus leveraged and residual income. As you can see, that's all at the top. And your left side is going to be your linear income. You're not generating any passive income with this. And the thing about it is that you're also told to create a passive income, or to put yourself in a position to receive a passive income. That's with your retirement, your pensions, and your 401ks. But nowadays, most businesses don't provide you with the pension anymore. The only thing that you can get is a 401k, and that's totally dependent upon the stock market and your knowledge, your ability to be able to make that grow. You can hire most companies. I know my company, they provide us, we invest in a 401k, and then there are other companies that our company hires to manage that money. But there's a risk there. There's a third-party risk, because you don't know how much they're charging in fees. And there are stories of people who have worked there, 30, 40 years, and once they got their 401k, they thought that they were going to have all this money, because they create these scenarios of, oh, if you get 10%, interest per year, you're going to have this amount of money. But what they don't do, they don't tell you that when the market goes down, when the market crashes, you're going to lose that compounding effect. And I've experienced that in 2018, not 2018, 2008. I literally saw half of my retirement just be eliminated. I mean, that was like 15 years that I had built up a certain amount in my 401k, and I'm thinking that this money is gonna continue to grow. But when the market crashed, it was cut in half. And so that is something that they don't tell you about. And then the other thing with only having a pension and or 401k and relying on that for your residual income is that is only one asset class. There are a total of 4 asset classes, and nowadays there's actually a 5th asset class, because you have your precious metals. People that are financially well off, they typically have a business. So you have your precious metals, a business, real estate, paper in the sense of stocks and bonds. And now the fifth asset class today is cryptocurrency. And so if all of your assets and your whole plan for retirement is is isolated to one asset class, you are really not diversified. We're told that, oh, if you get a mutual fund or if you get a 401k and you have all these companies, all these different stocks, and you put them together, then you're diversified, but you're not. You're only in really one asset class. And so that's another thing that we're not taught. So I wanted to share this with you, that there's nothing wrong with being on the left side of this cash flow quadrant. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to start here and not have something else going on in addition to that to help you transition to the right side of the quadrant. And you most definitely don't want to stay stuck on the left side of the quadrant for the rest of your career, which is what most people do. And then by the time, and I won't ever say that it's too late, because I'm seeing a lot of people in their retirement years do a lot of phenomenal things. And on the surface, it seems, oh, well, they're older and so it's too late for them. But actually it's not, because they can leverage those years of knowledge, 30, 40 years of knowledge that they have, and they can market that information a lot quicker and be more effective than a younger person that doesn't have the knowledge and the skill set that an older person has. So someone that has 30 or 40 years of experience in one area, they can start a YouTube channel or a blog or anything like that and leverage and do trainings in have an income way more than what they even had on their job that they retired from, and leverage that way. So you're never too old to get started with this. My goal is to teach my youngest daughter that's still at home, when she goes off to college, I want her to be working on the degree, but also be aware and have an idea of how she is going to build something that's going to transition her to the right side of this quadrant. So anyway, that is all that I have on this tonight. I will do another video on the right side and how you can, after you have transitioned how you can transition from the right side. I'm sorry, from the left side. I gotta get this right. How you can transition from the left side of the quadrant to the right side of the quadrant. I hope I have not been saying that wrong the whole time. But I'm talking about moving from the right side of the quadrant, from the left side of the quadrant to the right side of the quadrant. Oh my goodness, so sorry about that. But you know what I'm saying. I'm so glad that I have a picture up here, because in that way you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, again, if you haven't done so already, please download my book, Make, Manage, and Master Your Money. This will give you a good overview of how you can get started in becoming financially fit and how you can manage your finances so that you can transition from being paycheck to paycheck to freedom and passive income. And again, if you're watching this on YouTube, please like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you on the next video.